The house on Mill Road, imagine, moving into a new house, one with creaky floors and a faint smell of damp wood. You're told it's just an old place, nothing special. But then, at night, you hear something, a whisper that sounds like your name. You tell yourself it's the wind. What if it isn't? This too is the story of Sarah, who moved into the house on Mill Road. And what she found there, it still keeps her awake at night. Sarah was 28, fresh out of a breakup, looking for a clean start. Mill Road was quiet, a dead-end street lined with sagging trees and modest homes. The house was a steal, 2 bedrooms, a small yard, and a price that made her realtor double-check before signing. She signed the papers without asking too many questions. Her first night, she unpacked boxes to the hum of cicadas outside. The air felt heavy, like the house was holding its breath. The house wasn't creepy, not at first. It was just tired. The wallpaper peeled in curling strips, revealing faded floral patterns. The hardwood groaned under her steps, each creak sharp enough to make her pause. In the kitchen, the faucet dripped steadily, a slow plink, plink that echoed in the silence. Sarah laughed it off, blaming her nerves. She'd grown up in apartments, not old houses. This was just how they sounded, right? But as she lay in bed that night, the dripping seemed louder, almost rhythmic. She got up to tighten the faucet. The handle was already stiff, but stiff. The drip gone. She stood there, staring at the sink, her reflection wavering in the dark window. Was that her face or someone else's? The next morning, Sarah found a smudge on the bathroom mirror. It looked like a fingerprint, but too long, too thin. She wiped it away, her heart thudding. Probably just dirt, she thought. But that night, the air grew colder, the kind of chill that seeps into your bones. She checked the thermostat. 68 degrees. Normal. Yet her breath fogged in front of her as she walked down the hall. Then she heard it, a low murmur, like someone muttering under their breath. It came from the living room. She froze, clutching her phone, its light casting jagged shadows on the walls. The shadows flickered, stretching into shapes that didn't match the furniture. A chair. A table. A figure that shouldn't be there. She blinked, and it was gone. Her pulse hammered in her ears. Just her imagination. Had to be. Days passed, but the house felt different now. Sarah started noticing things. Small, unsettling things. Her keys would be on the counter, not the hook where she left them. A glass of water she swore she'd emptied was full again, the surface rippling slightly. At night, the murmurs grew clearer, forming words she couldn't quite catch. They seemed to come from the basement, a place she hadn't explored yet. The door was heavy, its paint chipped, the knob ice cold to the touch. She told herself she'd check it later. But every time she passed, the air smelled faintly of mildew and something sharper, like burnt hair. One evening, she sat on the couch, scrolling her phone to drown out the silence. The lights flickered just for a second. Her phone screen glitched, showing a photo she hadn't taken, a grainy image of the basement door, slightly ajar. Her stomach dropped. She lived alone. She deleted the photo, hands shaking, and turned on every light in the house. But the shadows seemed to move anyway, darting just beyond her vision. Sarah stopped sleeping well. Her dreams were vivid, too real. Hands reaching from the walls, eyes watching from the ceiling. She'd wake up gasping, the room spinning, the murmurs louder now. "Sarah," they whispered, soft as a breath. She started doubting herself. Was she stressed? Losing it? She called her sister, Mia, who laughed and said old houses have character. But Mia's voice sounded distant, like it was coming through static. The next night, Sarah saw something that broke her denial. She was brushing her teeth, the mirror fogged from the shower. As she wiped it clear, the reflection didn't move. It stood there, staring back, its eyes too wide, its mouth curling into a smile she didn't make. She screamed, stumbling back, and the reflection snapped back to normal. Her toothbrush lay on the floor, bristles smeared with something dark, like soot. She didn't sleep that night. She sat in the kitchen, lights blazing, a knife in her hand. The murmurs were constant now, a chorus of voices overlapping, urging her to look. Look where? The basement door rattled just once, like something tapped it from the other side. Sarah couldn't ignore it anymore. She had to know. Armed with a flashlight and the knife, she approached the basement door. The knob turned easily this time, too easily. The stairs descended into darkness, the air thick with that burnt hair smell. Her flashlight beam trembled, catching cobwebs and cracked concrete walls. At the bottom, she found a small room, empty except for a single wooden chair. It faced a blank wall, as if someone had sat there, staring. Scratched into the concrete were words, "We see you." Her breath caught, the flashlight flickered, and the murmurs surged, deafening now, screaming her name. She spun around, the beam catching something, a shape in the corner, tall and thin, its edges blurring like smoke. It moved toward her, too fast. She bolted up the stairs, slamming the door, her screams drowning out the voices. The house was silent again, too silent. She packed a bag, ready to leave, but as she reached the front door, the knob wouldn't turn. The lights went out. Her phone was dead. And then, from the basement, a single clear whisper, "Stay." Sarah's story doesn't end neatly. She got out, eventually, after hours of pounding on the door until a neighbor heard. She never went back to Mill Road. The house is still there, for sale again. The price lower than ever. Sarah lives with Mia now, but she's not the same. She checks mirrors obsessively, afraid of what might look back. At night, she hears whispers, faint but familiar, even in a new city. She told me something before I recorded this, something I can't shake. She said the photo on her phone, the one of the basement door. It's back. Every time she deletes it, it reappears. And each time, the door is open, a little wider. Last week, she saw something in the background of the latest one. A figure sitting in that chair facing her. What's in your house watching you right now? And if you hear your name tonight, will you answer? If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Share your own creepy experiences in the comments. I read every one. See you next time, if you dare.